if we all now decide to live by the society standards, then where's that fulfillment? Where does fulfillment comes in? And how do we now define success in the ideal form?
I think this is what we drink now.
Please. Welcome back to Living the EQ Life, and today we're having guests again. I'm sure you've actually seen some of our episodes and our conversations, and I'm sure some of you have learned a few things. Today, yet again, I'm having my friends over, Joya Sonye and Daniel Black. And today we'll be talking about something very interesting. Redefining success. Is it personal? Is it societal? What drives you? When you think of success, what comes to your mind first? You know, is it for yourself? How do you define it? Is it for the society? Is it for your mother? Is it for your father? Is it for your fulfillment? What comes to your mind when you think of success?
Oh, okay.
We're diving right in, right?
We're diving right in.
Don't stop me, no pausing.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, living the EQ life, in the EQ life,
should-
no
you should-
breaks, we're
yes, you
moving
should just
and
go back.
Constant motion.
Constant motion. That's success, you know.
I should have known.
All right.
Again, it's wonderful to be here as usual, cozy, and it's
know?
red in there. So trust me, I'm sure we're going to have a good time. But this is a very good one. I really appreciate you bringing up this, because I've often wondered myself when I see that certain individuals from remote places are so driven. I like to think I'm one of those people. I probably have not knocked on that door I would like to eventually knock on. But yeah, I come from a very remote place. When you see those, my father was a principal of a local school in the community. I grew up around people who were contented with what they had. I grew up in there were farmers, there were fishermen, they were just fine. But I've always known I needed something, I wanted something more. I was one of those children who looked with mouths open when fancy vehicles passed, and I was very interested. I always wanted to know who this commissioner is, who this person visiting. Anytime anybody important visited, I really wanted to know more about that person. So yes, it's a question I've asked myself severally. What exactly drove me to want more? Nothing around me actually necessarily, pushed me there. But I would like to say that it's personal.
So, I mean, that's a very nice perspective. And I like the fact that you have given examples of, what drove you as an individual. I'll just come back to Black quickly. What does success mean to you? If it's to define success or why you want to be successful, what comes to mind?
Yeah, Ebade, thank you. And as always, the EQ life. Thank you for always having us here. And believe me, each time I leave here, I'm also inspired. I also get to learn a lot.
Not to mention a bit tipsy.
The tipsy comes with the amount of knowledge we gain. We always toast to good
intellectually
we
tipsy.
get intellectually tipsy, and that's a nice thing, So success. Remember, I don't know, back in secondary school, at least that's the first time I got to hear about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it shows that success is not necessarily a destination. It's more of a journey. And as humans' needs are never satiable, humans are insatiable, they're always wanting more. So in my perspective, we may want to think that success is personal, but humans always, in fact, every indicator of success has always been external, has always been some form of validation from our friends, our families, some form of acceptance. Right, and that makes it public. That makes it that success has always been a drive to publicly get to a particular status that you think the society has kept. No matter what drives you under, there are some people that the drive may be different. Personally, I don't care what the public says. I don't care this and all of that. But even when you say I don't care what the public says, you are inadvertently wanting the public to see you as, in quote, a rebel. You're an outlier, and you're happy because everybody says that one. No, she know they agree. You're saying I don't care what the public says, but you're happy when they say that one. I know they agree. So I think success is more of a public destination,
Yeah.
a public journey, sorry, not a destination, because I've never seen a human that says, I am done, I've gotten
reached
all
the
I want.
apex.
No matter how undriven the human beings are, everybody always wants more. Everybody wants the next. So far as you're alive, in fact, I think that's what Beth, that I'm saying, that says, so far as there's life, there's hope. Yeah, so I think success is a public journey for validation, for acceptance, and for the people around us to say, wow, to identify. It's a public identity. Or that's my.
Would you actually say it's a public identity?
Are you asking me because I want to?
Yeah, because when we're saying defining success, what success means to you, and of course the conversation is about, is it personal, is it for the society, is it and you have given a postulation that I beg to differ. Yes, and for good reasons. If we all now decide to live by the society standards, then where's that fulfillment? Where does fulfillment comes in? And how do we now define success in the ideal form?
I think this is what we drink now.
Please.
What are we drinking to, please?
How do you define success in the ideal form?
Okay.
How do you define it?
Are you sure you didn't come with the target to have drinks? Because
you actually drank
Before they...
but
you know what I again, we always define our opinions, Black and I, but I agree with you. There's sometimes that innate push, you can't even explain it. I've listened to a lot of people who I would refer to as successful. Like he said, it's a journey, but I would say these people have, hit the mark in some sense. However, there's something that pushes them. It's not necessarily what the public, sometimes they don't even know why they cannot sleep at night. They are awoken by the innate talent and skills they have. They want to do more. They want to, and it doesn't have anything to do with monetary gains. It has nothing to do with societal applause or commendations. It has everything to do with that need to express that which is within you. And if you attain success by that, like we said in the other podcast, in the other episodes of this podcast, where as long as you are doing the best that you can within your little space, I think that is success. As long as you are trying at all times, you're striving to be better than yesterday. But people actually do not, that innate drive is what I think you're talking about when you say, is it personal or is it public? What really pushes that person for more? But
because we all know that the society has defined success differently, or presumably differently. And for example, like you rightly said, some people who are doing amazing work, doing very great, and they don't get this validation, they don't get this commendation. We have seen instances that you see, even in this development space, which some of us here are deeply rooted in. We have seen instances, we see awards, features, or commendations, so to say, of some people doing some work, and you tell yourself, but
I've done way more.
I've done way more, or I know this person, But then again, the society has, in their own way, defined that person's work as successful. Has said this person is doing an amazing work, this person is a successful person. And this is you standing, as a bystander who is doing similar or even much more. You also question yourself, am I actually successful? Am I actually...
Because there's that push to do more.
So I want to ask this question while we deliberate, right?
Yeah.
Say you have a project. When do you say you have success? Or when do you say you've attained success? Is it that aha moment, wow, all I planned for? Or is it while you're planning? I'd like to get feed.
For me, to be the objective. So before any project, you have objectives of that project, what that project should be, should achieve.
Yes.
And for me, the planning, yes, could have its ups and downs, could have obstacles, might never go as you have planned.
So how do you?
But at the end of the day,
how do you judge?
How do you now judge is the objectives with which you have laid down?
Yes. So
have
how
they
do you
been met?
judge you have met? How do you judge that you've met up those objectives?
Because you have written out your objectives.
The goals
and your
are clear.
But that's different when you're talking about life journey.
Oh,
Because,
yes.
because it's not
No,
a one-off.
no, it's very intertwined.
Because in a project,
it's very intertwined.
if you talk about a project, it's very one-off.
No.
For
Our life
instance,
is a series of projects.
Actually,
a
Our
series
life
of
is a
projects.
series of projects.
Okay. to this
Series
of
of projects.
Yes. But I won't let you ladies derail me from my thought pattern at this juncture. So our lives is a series of projects, and successes comes in those moments when this series of projects meet up our objectives. I want to finish school by this time. I want to have this amount of money. I want to work in this kind of place and all of that, right? And my postulation goes beyond the general public validation. It goes at the end of that objective. When do you say, I am successful at that particular objective? I am of the opinion that it is when the public, advertently or inadvertently, is wowed by your achievement. Because you can't finish school by 18. You can finish school by 18 and you're sitting down, and then when people say, wow, he finished school at 18, he got this at 18, that may be success to somebody. I'm just giving that example, right? I think that the fact that whatever you've achieved is not hidden. It has to be out there in the public. That's what makes the journey of success a public endeavor. Okay. It cannot be hidden in a bushel. It cannot just be an achievement you put under and cover it and say, wow, I've gotten it.
So I bet to differ again. So I'll give an example. When I actually started work in the development space, and I used to do a lot of, work in the IDP, volunteering, doing different projects, I didn't pay any mind to social media. I didn't pay any mind to taking pictures or not taking pictures, And I think I was having a conversation with, was it Black and some other people some time again.
We also had that conversation.
Yeah, I did used to take pictures.
Digital footprint.
But guess what? I mean, and if I was asked, okay, show me proof that you're doing all of these things, I probably do not have proof. I do not have proof. Because I need to take pictures. Mine was to go there, do it. I said that the objective had been met. I go home happy, fulfilled that I've actually had a successful outing. That was my own definition of success to me. I didn't need anybody to say, I didn't need the public to say, oh, she has gone to the IDP camp today. Oh, thumbs great. Up. Oh, this and all of that. No. We were done. We'll just go. We would. In fact, even when I am Moyo, I'm not, Moyo. Yes. I've done a lot of series of products with Moyo. We'll go to these pictures will be probably be like, hey, at the end we say, well, come and take pictures. However, from the start to finish, you are concentrated about finishing.
So my question to you now.
Yes.
Why is he the one asking?
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's a conversation.
Yeah. So I want us to come somewhere.
Questions.
Because we are different.
Actually, I'm actually different from his opinion, right? Because my own thing about success is me going back home.
And having that peace.
Oh my goodness. I bet you, Black.
Yes.
How I actually feel whenever I'm doing any projects in those interiors, the IDP camps. See, when I go, by the time I'm home, there's this sudden peace.
Okay.
It's only some of us who have actually done it.
You have been successful on that, and you go to sleep and think of the next thing to do.
So I want to bring in sustainability to success.
Right.
By the time you go home with your personal and limited resources, you've done the best you can, right?
Yes.
And that is your level of success. That is your definition of success.
That is goals met.
Goals met.
Mm-hmm.
And you have not bothered about public validation and public acceptance and all of that. Looking at how the world works, remember we are talking to the public, remember we are advising people, looking at how the world works, has that really helped you sustain or get to the magnitude of success you would love to get using the development
that's a different conversation. And that's why I gave the example. I said when I started, especially when I came to the FCC, and I knew that, okay, I needed to do some work here. I mean, this is something I have been doing from school.
Right.
I like to, we did a lot of projects with Rotary Club. Even in the university, in the Faculty of Law, we did a lot of advocacy in the interiors and all of that. And I said, you know what, I'd like to continue something like that here.
Right.
And I recall doing, like I was just saying, you doing all of those things over the years, and there were no records. And we knew that now, with the knowledge we have, having records, is beyond even the show off.
It's not show off.
It's beyond even the show. No, I mean, they are show offs. But no, that's a different conversation. That's a different yes. What I'm saying, the records, beyond even having the records and putting the records out there, it's not a different ballgame entirely. Because right now, we give an example the last time we were having a conversation privately. I mean, if you want to apply for some grants applying for something.
You will be required to send all the evidences.
No, sometimes they tell you send us a link.
Which is a
The link sends you to
an evidence.
So it's not even you doing your record and keeping and say I'll send to them. No, they are saying we want to see
what
yes.
you have done.
So you have to. It means that you have to have those records in the public space for them to go to the link and have a look.
I want to let
but that's a different conversation.
No, but I want to let you
know. Before you go ahead, did you see how he brought up ambition in there right now? We just talked about set goals. In your best capacity, you can cater to 500 IDP children. You feel like you went there, you empowered them with skills, you even empowered them with groceries, maybe, and then all 500. You come home feeling happy with yourself. He just chipped in there that, have you considered, getting others as a step up per se? It brings me back to the conversation we had, and success has a lot to do with ambition, meaning you do not stop. But that's why I personally feel like this one project that he mentioned as an illustration doesn't really work when we're talking about a life of fulfillment and success. What pushes you? Is it the public? Is it your environment? Is it the culture? Is it your immediate and, So,
thank you for bringing that up. And I want to come in here because I think if we want to rely on our personal, if we want to say I am successful based on my personal metrics, we will have a whole lot of mediocre success.
Remember pace. You remember your 3 steps: pace, time, and
of course, but
size.
Pace, time, and size, of course. But now it is not even a but. This pace, time, and size you need the public, you need outsiders to let you know that you're doing well. You did 500, you're doing well. You did 2,000, you're doing well. Whatever size is, but when you say you're limited to the fact that you just met your objectives, right? I used to hear this very funny analogy back then when we used to train for project management, where they talked of a community that some people went in and the children used to trek about 200 kilometers or whatever, a very long distance to go get water from the stream, right? And then someone came in and felt, I need to give this
that's
people,
what they need.
This is what they need. And he felt, I'm trying to buttress my point of the role of the public in your definition of success. You can't just say, I am successful, you go home and find yourself. The public needs to validate, needs to say, yes, what you did is good. If not, if we want to rely on our personal definition of success, we'll have people doing some very crazy things and saying, I'm successful.
But the public is always going to push you further. Remember that thing we talked about, fulfillment, self-fulfillment? Where do you draw the line to say that this is what I am capable of doing? This is where my goals, life goals.
So you're bringing in the ambition conversation.
No.
We're talking about feeding 500 people here. This is what I can do.
Yes.
And you go home and feel that I have fed 500 people.
Yeah. Excited and happy and fulfilled.
I believe that if you do not take into consideration public evaluation to know if you actually fed 500 people, if these 500 people needed water, instead of food, if these 500 people needed takeaway.
Okay, so I think we're delving too much into that space.
Okay.
That space of project development. That's all we know. Of course, that is who we are. And I think that would now sort of confuse, people who are trying to get into the conversation about the ideals of success. Yes. What you have illustrated, the examples I've also given, these are conversations around the development space.
Okay.
Which also we cannot even do aloof. Remember what the goals say. I mean, if you must even do any product at all, you should be in line with the SDGs, looking at the key indicators and all of that to ensure that you are aligning properly.
Is that not a public evaluation?
That's what I'm saying. Of course, we have our key indicators and evaluate. We have all of that, our M&E. What I'm saying is, when we go through that route, then we're not making it more of the development space.
Okay.
Now, we're defining success as an individual, as a young person who is watching, a young person who says, I am learning from this podcast. I need to understand what success means to me as an individual. How do I feel I am successful? That's the conversation. I don't want us to deviate because we are speaking into that language, that space, which not many people listening can relate.
Okay.
So we need to also streamline our conversation back to that individual sense of success. That individual sense of fulfillment. So I wouldn't want us to delve too much, like I said, into that space so we don't confuse people. But let's speak from that point of Joy Asonye as you are, Daniel Black as you are. When would you define your own success? Would it be when the society says, Black, well done, you're doing an amazing work? Or you go back after working in your farm, after the whole food security thing you're into, the whole development space you're into, advocacy thing you're into, all of the work you're doing, and you go back home and you say, you know what? I've done my bit for humanity. We go again tomorrow. But today, I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. I'm successful.
So there's the place of I am happy, I am fulfilled, I'm successful. That is personal motivation. But the point where I would agree that I'm successful is when I evaluate my set objectives with public standard, right? That is my own avenue where I'd say, by the time I set it up and I meet the par,
Who
right?
sets this par?
So
Exactly.
yes, who sets this par? In every success, in every life, right? There is a standard, a natural order of standard. A natural order of standard. Let me say, for example, you mentioned me farming, for example. That is in agriculture. I can decide by virtue of the stress I have gone throughout the whole season, and I make 40% success. I go home, I say, I'm 40% harvest, and I'm like, I have tried. We go again tomorrow, right? Meanwhile, all my neighbors around are making 100% harvest, 90% harvest. That means naturally that place was supposed to thrive. For some reason, I did not thrive, and I'm sitting in my house and saying I did my best. So I will now carry my best, evaluate it with the natural order of things in that sphere.
By the way, he will soon get depressed, and I think one of these shows you should just get a psychologist.
Anyway,
Because what you're saying now is you now defining your success by your neighbor's success.
Exactly. It has to be what your neighbor.
I think it's actually very dangerous for us to now say, there is a path.
And it's said by the public.
And it's said by the public.
And the public is volatile.
Hold on. That's a very dangerous terrain
No.
to delve into. Like I keep saying, I will hold my brief very close to.
Yeah,
heart.
don't be finite in the.
No, exactly. I'm not just saying. I just hold my own brief to say that. And I give an example of when I started doing development work, and how I felt afterwards.
Let's not get back there, but
I know, yeah. I'm bringing in my own personal
experiences.
How fulfilled and successful I was in that. Yes. So how would I define it? Would I define it by the UN publicly acknowledging my work, or some newspaper or some awards, whatever, acknowledging me? Would I say,
no, that's now the part?
Meanwhile, even now, I've had several features. I've written several articles.
Are you satisfied with those?
I would not say I'm successful.
Exactly. So, Ebaide, I want to one day get to a place where I make decisions. Yeah. I determine how people live, because I feel like I have people's. I don't know why you're.
I don't want to forget this.
I care for people, and I want to make decisions that affect their lives, and I know I will make good decisions in that respect. I will do everything necessary, right? I want to one day open a radio and TV station in Abuja that would serve the global.
I will have
oh yes, of course.
That would serve the global purpose and all of that. That's what I want to do. So, however, in this stage, I get people who, maybe because they saw me from the Joy Asonye, a reporter in NTA not many years ago, and they're like, wow, you are so successful. I hear people even say, can I send my child to you so they learn under you? I have a lot of people who are volunteering and all of that, and I'm like, I haven't even scratched
the surface.
Now this is now a flip side of where I feel like I'm getting cheered, right? At this stage that I think I haven't even scratched, but I'm getting cheers. I could sit back and say, based on the cheers I've gotten, based on the awards.
That is what you are saying.
That is what you're saying. So people are excited about.
Listen.
But imagine there are paths. Hold on, and society has actually defined these paths, and society have not acknowledged your work. When in fact you're just scratching the surface.
So let me not forget my train of thoughts. Number one, the fact that the public commendation is not a signal to stop. That is why I acknowledge the place of drive. at this level. So Sheikh accused me of going to be depressed someday. I'm saying, man, back at you may get depressed because you are not enjoying your small wins. You are at this level. People have seen you publicly are saying, wow, you're doing so well. And all you can think about is your next step. All you can think about is the further. That is a recipe for depression.
Let's drink to ambition.
Ambition is different from success.
Absolutely.
So, oh yes, of course. So, yeah, I had 3 things. Number 1, yeah, I had said 1. I've said 2.
Okay.
That you can get depressed walking in this path where you have small wins, where you are actually successful. The world is telling you you're successful. That is not a signal to stop. Your drive is still pushing you further. But at this point, by day, you cannot say you are not successful. You have not gotten to where you are, but at this stage that you are in your life, Joy, at this stage you are in your life.
She's getting awards. She's getting the public.
Okay.
Yes. Finally, Joy, you talked about wanting, so your own level where you maybe at some point take a break is when you get to a level where you make world decisions. For example, if you are the current president of Ukraine where the war is happening, and you're making decisions, unpopular decisions, people are dying, people are crying as a result of your decisions. You've gotten to that level where you're making world level decisions, right? Would you say you're successful?
Is that my goal? If yes, then it is part of my goal.
Okay, so take your mind off Ukraine now. You are at a world level decision. You're a world level decision maker,
right?
And you're making unpopular decisions. You're making decisions, and people.
It's affecting people.
It's affecting people negatively, right? Because you don't care about public validation. Would you say you're successful?
You see, you're twisting my words because I said I care for the people.
Yeah.
I care for the people so much. That was my point.
That was her point.
And I'm telling you that even if I make unpopular decisions, I would justify it today, now, here, that I know that it is in the long run going to benefit my people. And so I am going to make, just imagine, we talked about a House of Rep member who would rather buy chairs for the primary school in his constituency. But these people want to rather come and get arms. Oh, my wife is pregnant. My wife just had a baby. And my father died, and all of that. He's making very unpopular decisions by going to buy chairs and making furniture in that community. Students will sit in a more conducive place to study. But those are unpopular decisions because now he's losing political points by electorates who feel he's stingy. He don't get there now, he know they pay. Do you get? So I would always justify my actions, decisions, and policies based on how I think the public, my people, would benefit. Now you're beginning to make me sound like some politician.
No.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like,
But unfortunately, we cannot live in a world where everybody runs on the dictates of their personal decisions. We have to come to a common consensus.
Absolutely.
Because if Joy says that what is best for her constituency is chairs. Meanwhile, in her constituency, there are people that just want to leave,
whose parents are pregnant.
You understand? At what point will we say that Joy is successful as a representative of her people? If she is forcing her own thoughts, her own need-based analysis of her constituency on them, or coming to say, man, guys, you people who say you don't want chairs, what do you want? You want daily arms, and this is what I have you. Okay, the money we would have used, this is what, and everybody is jubilating. The fact that in your head, that does not make sense, but everybody here is saying, up Joy, you have actually made them happy.
But for a short...
And you think that is success?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, it's interesting that we've had these perspectives, and these perspectives we're having, so that people will see how very different we all are, and how perspectives are not stupid. Yes. Perspectives will have to be understood, tolerated, and acknowledged as well.
This one I am struggling with him to understand.
Not necessarily acknowledging that it is right, but acknowledging that is his perception.
That is, yes.
That is the idea. The idea that you actually acknowledging that Daniel Black has a perception.
And this is it.
And this is it.
That's why I said I am struggling to acknowledge.
Different from mine.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
But wait, lawyer, why do we have a constitution in Nigeria? Is it not to bring a consensus agreement that this is how things should be done? If we decide to run on how I wake up this morning, I feel like I should slap everybody.
Like I said, the deviation is happening.
Deviation?
Yes.
in the conversation again.
Yes.
We're
Division
going
to
to
what?
project.
If a person has action. So from perceptions. So like I said before, it's important that we have this conversation. We have different opinions and the perceptions will have to be acknowledged. And that's the whole idea of having this conversation. Black has a different perception and we are actually acknowledging the fact that this is what he thinks success defines anyone. And I'll give this very simple example again. Why I actually differ with Black's point is because, I'm picturing a man, a very young man who is done with school. He has done his 4 years BSc accounting. He's out of school, does his NYSC. He gets a job. This is just a man doing his thing silently. He gets a job in a bank or wherever it is. In that bank or in that job, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, he's able to pay his rent. He's able to transport. He gets married, lives in a very simple house, 2-bedroom flats. He and his wife, they decide to have 2 children, and he just lives on that meager salary, whatever salary it is, to just manage the way he's managing. And he doesn't want to go further, but to him, he's successful in life. There are no accolades. He's not doing anything public. He's not doing anything outside, but in that small niche, in that small, simple, quiet niche, he finds fulfillment. From work to house, from house, church, work, and he's happy to him. He tell himself, yes, I am successful. And is actually based on what he feels success is and means to him as an individual. In that instance, what the public says would not matter.
No, what Black is saying is in his little space. He has a public that's cheering him up.
What public?
When we say public, when I use the word public,
you enter constitution.
Yes. No, see, life is in different phases. Life is in different stages. When I use the word public, I do not necessarily mean a whole orchestra. Right? Public means the next person behind you. For example, this example you've given now.
Public cannot just be the next person behind you.
Why?
Public is a mix of everyone.
No.
Because I remember when I told you about my own situation.
You should have allowed me, please, just land here. Sorry.
Let us just land because let's move
yes. So I think that this person, so far as his landlord is not backing on him, his wife is okay. His children are going to school and he's able to cater for their school fees. I think at that level, those people constitute the people I would call public. Maybe you can have another word for it. So far as the people around you, you cannot just, if for example now, this person you just said, in his mind that I am successful, yet his children are out of school. I am successful. He's owing his landlord rent. I am successful. His wife is not able to do anything. Would you say that man is successful? I think he can only be successful if the people he owes his responsibilities to agree with him. So whether they are public, the world, or whether they are public, his immediate family, that I think should be the basis. If not, we will have the highest height of irresponsibility and people calling it fulfillment. That I rest my case.
Okay, that is Black's point. He rests his case. Joy, to you, let's just wrap this up. We have had a long evening, and I feel like we've had perceptions.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was talking about fulfillment. Black seems to have shifted a bit, and to where I was in my perception of success and public-private push, right? So this gentleman who is satisfied with this place is fulfilled, and that is what I call success. As long as he feels fulfilled, he's striving every day to ensure that he pays his rent, he's doing his best in his capacity to pay school fees. Because you talked about him not paying. Him paying, as long as he's paying and all of that. There are times when something will happen, the child may get ill, and so it would tweak his revenue a bit and something would happen. So at that point, he fails to be successful? No, but because he's striving at all times. That is what I call success, and I do not believe it is.
My dear friends, my dear friends, let's just have a quick teaser and we call it an evening.
All right.
I've actually loved this conversation. It's important that we have these conversations. Let people learn, unlearn, and relearn. There's some people that will agree with us, some people will not agree with us.
Of
We will actually
course.
be in Black's book.
Oh, yeah.
Will be in my book or be in our book. Yeah, we did.
already
Yeah.
have people who are in.
Of course. And of course, we have our wonderful
Behind the scene.
behind the scene guest,
And crew
Black,
members.
who is not Smiles. Smiles, who is not showing, but he's covering this and he's with Black on this, you know. But quick one, if you could define success in just one sentence. Define success in one sentence. One sentence. Black, I go with you first.
Success in one sentence. Impacting the world.
Impacting the world.
Continuous striving.
Okay, continuous striving, impacting the world. Wow. Okay, so what's one thing you've achieved that society might not view as successful? One thing you've actually achieved, but society might not view as successful.
I'm very sure nothing happened. I don't know one thing. I don't think I have one thing.
I think the society will not say this one. He will say you are successful. They won't. Let me use your word. They won't cheer you. What do you think is that one thing you've?
Okay, I think I should go.
Yes.
I think it's a personal achievement, as in my attitude to life, which is that I'm very patient.
Yeah. Getting to this age.
Ooh.
Okay.
I know I want another episode of
Okay, now. Then final one.
Okay.
What's the most unconventional way you celebrated success in your life?
You don't want to hear it.
I want to hear it. We want to hear it today.
today.
We want to hear it. So please.
unconventional way.
Yes. Maybe celebrated success.
While she's thinking, I was slipping it off. Unconventional
Actually,
now. Slipping
yes,
it off.
I think
I
so.
just like,
Yeah.
Bask in
this
the
is so
moment.
high. This, I just go slip it off.
Wow.
Yeah, enjoy.
I start writing about the next project.
Unconventional way. Okay. Yes.
You don't master it.
It's okay.
The next concept
They have said I am Bagam.
Oh,
I am this.
let me
Oh, yeah,
show
now.
let this momentum end.
You continue. Yeah, I feel you. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, you have, as usual, brought it to the table. And that's why you are a recurring guest here. You know, we know how to bring the whole conversation.
You rile us
Yes.
up, that's for sure.
Yes, and the various, perception, which are very different, and still very acknowledged and
I'll
tolerated.
toast to my own success.
So please, and toast to success, everybody.
Yes.
Till the next time on Living the EQ Live podcast. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, as much as we did. We've had a very good conversation thus far, and see you at the next episode.
They should remember to like, share.
Please like,
Yes.
share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, your brother, your cousin,
Put on your
everybody.
notification.
Do not forget. We'll keep dropping short videos, everything. So you're seeing all the, living the EQ life.
Leaving that, that's what we're doing
It's
right
bold, it's unconventional, it's kind, it's empathic, it's here to stay.
here. Yeah.
Let's live.
The EQ life.
Salute!
Salute.
Ooh.